in Gallatin, Tennessee. We're on the campus of Volunteer State Community College for today's women's action. 4 games, 12-2, 4 and 6 Central Time as we move forward on the time change. Jay, that caught me off guard.
Yes, I know. I didn't really realize that till last night. Like, yeah, wait a minute, we're going to jump ahead an hour. After a stirring rendition of the anthem by the Gaither family, we are ready to go here with Walter State, the #1 seed, facing this Pellissippi State team. And we are in for, as Tim says, a full day of women's basketball action here on the VolState Sports Network.
Walter State, the #1 team, comes in with a 24-2 record, undefeated in conference play, 20-0. They're ranked 4th in the country in the NJCAA. And they are coached by Jasmine Coleman in her 4th year. She's assisted by Chris Harris in his 2nd. Athletic Director Derek Creech and Assistant Athletic Director Avery Swinson are here in the stands. And the president of Walter State, Dr. Saul Reyes. Here's the starting lineup for the Walter State Lady Senators. Number 3, Milan Smith. Number 14, Reagan Starks. Number 15, Nija Gibbs. Number 21, Tariana Griffin. And number 54, Anaya Mulholland-Nat. For Pellissippi State, coached by Quan Dudley, 13-15 overall, 8-12 in the conference. Assisted by Cassidy Hill, Kennard McCray, Brock Evans is the athletic directors. We are ready to tip it off. I'll get you the starters. Is right away, Amelia Richardson off the glass and in for 2. She's one of the 5. Carly Hunt, Ellie Lynx, Ashley Crick, and number 5, Maya Moore, as Walter State has their first offensive set. And the shot made by Nija Gibbs.
Gibbs, one of the top scorers in the conference this year, coming in at number 5, averaging 16.5 points per game.
Inside again to Richardson. She turns around, one-handed shot, and it's good. Amelia Richardson from Westmoreland, Tennessee, right up the road, went to Westmoreland High School. 5'11" freshman. Mulholland-Nat get it down in the corner, kick back out to Smith, and they're going to work to the last year's freshman of the year, Tariana Griffin.
Griffin, the leading scorer in the conference, averaging 21.7 points per game. You're going to hear the names of a lot of leaders in various categories in the conference. Many of them are on this Walter State team.
Right inside, Reagan Starks gets the shot up, but she draws the contact. See if that is on Richardson. It is. To the line goes Reagan Starks, 77.5%. Free throw shooter, that's 5th in the conference. Do want to thank the folks at the Scorers Table. It's an actual company. They bring us the stats at halftime and after the game. Jason, and I'm not sure who he's got with him today, but Jason's the runner. As we're all knotted up here in the first quarter. It's a couple little steps by Maya Moore. She played at Cleveland State last year. She was a 2nd team all-conference selection for the Lady Cougars.
It's interesting how a number of players have moved around from team to team in this TCCAA.
Starts with the left hand, can't get it to go. Underneath and getting the ring around the rosy is Nija Gibbs. She shoots it pretty well from the field, Jay. 54.6, that's #1 in the conference. Richardson feeling it. She has her shot bothered. And she gets it back, and the left hand is no good. Up court to Griffin. She works quickly, and she's down. Yeah, looks like she might have caught a knee.
Hobbling a bit. That's certainly something Coach Coleman does not want to see. Your leading scorer, your leading player, certainly one of them. hobbling around a little. The official checking on her as she steps to the free throw line and composes herself, gets an extra breath or two as she winces in pain and flexes that left knee.
She's in the top 10 of a lot of categories.
Yes, she is. She's an amazing player. I've seen her a number of times this year. And, of course, remember her from last season. She was amazing last year as well. She's just a talented athlete.
Co-offensive player of the year. She was the freshman of the year a year ago, one of the leading scorers as a freshman.
And later today, we will have the women's awards, as we did yesterday for the men in various disciplines. Offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, etc.
Walter State, the three-point lead. Pellissippi State works their offense. Man-to-man by Walter State. The ball is knocked out of bounds by Mulholland Nat. She's from Columbia, Tennessee, went to Columbia Central High School. Richardson to inbounds, gets it to Lynx, gets it back. Working on Gibbs. And a kick out to Moore for three. No good.
Maya Moore, a defensive specialist, leading the conference in steals on the season with 83. And then you have Milan Smith, a Walter State player, right behind her with 76 steals.
Driving and scooping and scoring, Milan Smith.
And obviously she can score as well.
Carly Hunt with the basketball, right wing. Thought about giving it to Ashley Crick. There are Crick twins. Hunt with the jumper, no good. Rebound by Richardson, gets it back to Hunt and off the front of the rim and in. Carly with a K this year. Last year, she was Carly with a C, played at Roane State. She said they spelled it wrong on the roster. Out to now down to Starks in the left corner. Tapped out to Terriana Griffin. Mulholland Nat, not going to shoot a lot. She's going to dish it. We've got enough shooters. Nigel Gibbs thought about trying baseline, but Richardson cut her off. 5 on the shot clock, so Terriana Griffin will hoist a three, knocked out of bounds by Ashley Crick. Make sure I get those twins right. Autumn Crick, number 30, is on the bench. I thought it was maybe Autumn that started yesterday. Interior pass to Gibbs. Her shot no good. Rebound tracked down by Griffin. She'll get it out to Smith. Griffin with another three, and it's good. Leading scorer in the league at 21.7. The only player in men's or women's division that averaged over 20 points. Driving to the rim is Richardson. She gets it out to Hunt. Another shot in the lane is short. Rebound to Walter State, but pass goes out of bounds.
And we have a new player checking in for Quan Dudley. That would be Presley Clark, number 1, as she will sit in for Ellie Lynx as the first sub for Coach Dudley.
Looks like a bit of a zone being employed now here. Maybe a matchup. 3-point shot by Richardson. Rebound to Griffin. Griffin gets into the lane. Her shot is short. Tapped out of bounds. It'll remain Walter State basketball as they will sub for the first time as they hand off the baton. Starks will exit. Tiara Coleman will check in.
Yeah, Tiara, another one of the sophomores. She comes from Orlando, Florida.
Smith will try to find, but the steal by Crick, but she falling out of bounds, throws it to Walter State.
Yeah, that didn't work out too well. Autumn Crick trying to just ricochet it off of the Walter State player, but she ended up intercepting it.
There's a steal by Walter State. Smith with the 360, gets it off the glass. She'll go to the line for 2 after she finds a seat out of bounds. So Autumn Crick, number 30, now in the game. 2 players for Walter State as Reagan Stark's going to check back into the game. Malia Wilcox get her first action. She's from the hub of the universe, Cleveland, Tennessee, Bradley Central High School. Sorry, Jay, it's just ingrained in me from years and years of listening to my former pastor, who was from Cleveland, Tennessee, said, that's the hub of the universe. Walter State now with an 8-point lead under the halfway mark here in the first quarter. And 1 out of 2, but a rebound to Starks. And Walter State get another possession. Terriana Griffin, top of the key, kicks over to Wilcox. Now inside, Starks between 2 defenders, gets it to Coleman.
And it looks like a foul call. And I believe Richardson called for it.
That's her second. 4 team fouls. Walter State has not been whistled for a foul yet.
Just over a little halfway through this first quarter, and already 2 fouls on Richardson. Coach Quan Dudley, he'll have to perhaps adjust a little bit of strategy based on that.
So far, Walter State about 50% there from the free throw line. Let's see if I get that updated.
We have a 30-second timeout as Pellissippi State wishing to discuss things here as they are down by 10 early here.
Talk about the games later today on the women's bracket. Of course, 1 versus 8 here, 4 versus 5 in the 2 o'clock game. That is Motlow State, the 4 seed, will take on Jackson State. And then later on, 2 versus 7, Dyersburg State against Cleveland State. All chalk here in the women's bracket. Columbia State, the 3 seed, to face off in the nightcap against the Lady Tigers of Chattanooga State. No
Chattanooga
upsets.
Chattanooga State looked really good in that initial game against Roane State.
We're back, 4.5 minutes to go. 16-6. Carly Hunt, right wing. Starks is all over her. Maya Moore will step inside the 3-point line. Her shot is long. Rebound down to Smith. Up court, pass a little bit too long, but saved by Coleman. Terriana Griffin in the left corner, off the mark.
Pellissippi State giving away with one there, leaving Griffin alone like that. Not a wise move.
Moore tries it again. It's the exact same type of a shot. It's long. And 1 and done are the Lady Panthers. Bounce pass to Coleman. And another 2 points for Walter State. Senators number 1 in the conference in scoring an 83.2, and they're number 1 in defense too. That's why they haven't lost a game.
And that's why they are nationally ranked. Still at number 4, I believe. Are they not?
They are 4th in the country, yes. Wes Sperling, our lead referee, said the toes were on the line. Wes Sperling is assisted by Terry Tubbs. That's Terry with an I, T-E-R-R-I. She told me that she's also known as Madonna.
Oh, really?
With a straight face, but I got her to crack. She was joking. Tyler Vidito is the other official. Loose ball. Smith still fighting for it. Let's see who that foul is going to be on. I think that's going to be on Walter State. That is the first team foul. First personal on Malon, M-A-L-O-N. She's from Clarksville, Tennessee, went to Clarksville High. She's a Wildcat, 5'6" freshman. Richardson with 2 fouls still in the game for Pellissippi. They're located in Knoxville, Tennessee. If you're not aware, get a little geography lesson here for you.
Nice
Into
move.
and at the
Ellie Lynx.
free throw line is Ellie Lynx. First made basket in a while for Pellissippi. Griffin thought about a 3. Sees cross court, Mulholland Nat will get it to Gibbs. Plenty of time on the shot clock as Griffin loses the ball. We're going to have a jump ball. Possession will be to Walter State with a 10-point lead.
Mop Man back on duty today.
Wes Buckner didn't even realize that he walked right underneath the basket during a free throw attempt. I said, go back and check the video. He was focused on the fact that he had a mop was broken. He had to go to the entire other length of the court to get the mop on the other side. I don't see one there, so apparently we are down around mop. You know, I often wonder in a tournament like this, what do they do if a backboard's broken? Getting it in. Again, Carly Hunt with the steal for Pellissippi. This time falling out of bounds. She gets it over to Autumn Crick. Pellissippi now. Ellie Lynx kicks to the corner. Presley Clark, no good on the 3. And a loose ball. Aaliyah Wilcox able to get that. Ball's tapped away. Up court is Hunt. Lead pass is a little bit long, goes out of bounds. And a foul's going to be called. It's going to go on Mulholland Nat.
Mulholland Nat and Hunt step for step. And the contact taking place. And as Tim says, Mulholland Nat gets flagged.
Autumn Crick ends up on the court. Pushed, or did she fall? The Humpty Dumpty dilemma.
Malia Wilcox getting called for her first foul.
Apparently she was pushed. Richardson with a spin move in the lane off the glass. It's a little strong. Starks fighting for the rebound, gets control, and passes it right to Autumn Crick. Gonna go 1-on-3, drive right on through, trying to draw the foul. But she hits the deck this time, but apparently she fell. It'll be Pellissippi State basketball with 27 on the shot clock. Hunt to inbound, gets it to Autumn Crick in the corner. She's gonna drive again, go right up against Starks, up and under, and it's good.
Nice move, maneuvering past that tough defensive stance from Starks.
Wilcox for 3 in the left corner.
Answering is Wilcox after getting called for a foul on the other end of the court. We're coming up on 1:20 left in the first quarter.
Ellie Lynx played for Walter State last year. Going back door is Crick, but the pass is not connected. Now Milan Smith. Kick over to Wilcox, back to Smith. Inside, pass tipped away by Richardson. Trying to get it to Nija Gibbs. Gibbs from Tullahoma, Tennessee, a Tullahoma Wildcat. 5'11" sophomore. .18 on the shot clock as Walter State inbounds. Very patiently waiting for somebody to flash right down on that left block. That somebody was Malia Wilcox from Cleveland, Tennessee. Presley Clark picks up the personal foul. That's some long hair, not tucked in to the jersey by Malia Wilcox.
Yes, Aaron Dixon for Cleveland State, known for tucking those long locks into her jersey. And from a play-by-play perspective, you kind of appreciate that because it doesn't cover up the number.
That's right. Don't have that typically in the men's games. 2 for 2 goes number 2. She's normally dishing out the assist, 4.1 assists per game. Third in the conference is Malia Wilcox. Another backdoor play by Presley Clark. She can't get a shot up. And it's Walter State basketball. Autumn Crick tried to cut her off at half court. Nigel Gibbs goes in and off the glass for 2. Pellissippi State down by 15 here in the first quarter. Ellie Lynx gets free for a 3, and it's off the front of the rim. One and done again are the Panthers. And on the move, Smith decides to pull it out. Last shot, 5 on the game clock. See what they draw up. She's going to spin and meet resistance. Could have been Amelia Richardson's 3rd foul, but not called, and a 25-point first quarter for the Lady Senators.
That's pretty well par for the course for Walter State. They score them in bunches. They pull away. Their defense is just will stagnate your offense, and they are, well, it's kind of their MO here.
Let's take a quick 30-second timeout. You're listening to the VolState Sports Network.
Have you ever wondered what happens when you click Buy It Now? A whole series of transactions take place, from the manufacturer to your front door.
That is logistics and supply chain management.
At VolState, we offer end-to-end supply chain courses.
Going into the future, our students need to understand these processes.
A lot of business is dependent upon getting a product on time.
Students here at VolState are able to leave here with that knowledge.
Because the supply chain
Is counting on me.
Are back. Tim Reese, Jay Harper on the VolState Sports Network. Game 11 here on day 3, and it is Ladies' Day. All 4 games today in the women's bracket. Motlow State, Jackson State to follow this game. Dyersburg State, Cleveland, the 3rd game, and the nightcap, Columbia taking on Chattanooga. Walter State having their way here with their neighbors in the East, the Pellissippi State Lady Panthers. Jay, Walter State, of course, did not lose a game in conference. Defeated Pellissippi 101-42 at home, and then a little tighter at Pellissippi. It was a 12-point difference, and Walter State only scored 65 points in that game.
Which is somewhat of an anomaly for them, but
they average 83. Ellie Lynx with her 2nd 3 attempt. No good. Tapped out off of the fingertips of a Lady Senator.
But you also have to give some credit to the Lady Panthers in that game where the scoring was certainly restricted for Walter State.
They gave up right at their average of 65. Another 3 for Lynx, and she hasn't been able to dial it in yet. Nija Gibbs picks up the rebound. She's 9th in the conference in that category. She gets 8 of those a game. Tries to get one off the glass. It's no good, but she was restricted in her shot. Autumn Crick picks up the personal foul and back to the free throw line goes Walter State.
Yeah, Gibbs, 68.9% shooter from that part of the court as she pops the first one in.
They were 7 of 10 in the first half. Got there 10 times. Pellissippi did not shoot a free throw. 2 for 2. Goes the sophomore, Nija Nyjah Gibbs.
70% from the line are the Lady Senators.
Trying to get Lynx underneath. She was able to tiptoe around the boundary. And Maya Moore fires a three and draws air. Milan Smith up court to Gibbs, slips. Tried to get the ball to Griffin. Bounced out of her hands. Nice save by Ellie Lynx. Ashley and Autumn Crick both in the game now for the Lady Panthers. Carly Hunt fakes the pass. She's going to drive to the left side of the basket. Her shot no good. Pellissippi can't get anything to drop. Mulholland Nat's going to be called for the travel.
Amelia Richardson with those 2 fouls. Thus you see both of the Crick girls in the game for Coach Dudley.
Went down to get pronunciations before the game, and Amelia Richardson stepped right up to the plate. Said she could help. Cassidy Hill, the assistant coach, did as well. Appreciate their help. She also offered to give me a fun fact of each of the players, but I said I don't have time for that. Amelia's. Maya Moore is fouled.
Tariana Griffin. She commits her first foul.
She's a very, very good defensive player, Tariana Griffin.
Just all around. I would not be shocked to perhaps hear her name during the award ceremony later for the women's side of the TCCAA. There will be a second team and a first team all-conference team announced, as well as Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Player of the Year, Coach of the Year.
Freshman of the Year.
Correct.
She won't get that one, though. She got it last year. You can't get that one 2 years in a row, Jay. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, it's not like the Heisman where you could win it twice. You know, you're not Archie Griffin. But
that's right. OH. Tiara Coleman will have a seat. Aggressive defense by Pellissippi. Trying to trap, but get it down to start. She's going to drive into the lane, put a shot up. It's no good. Rebound by Gibbs. And the lead widens to 18. Of course, the winner moves on to tomorrow, the semifinals tomorrow.
And they'll take on either Motlow State or Jackson State. We'll determine that winner in our next game that starts at 2.
Empty possession for Pellissippi again. Mulholland Nat gets it inside. Gibbs tries to turn, and they're going to call travel. Amelia Richardson with those 2 fouls going to check back into the game. Ashley Crick will go take a rest on the bench. Pellissippi's athletic director, Brock Evans, is here as well. And their president is Dr. L. Anthony Wise. I believe I saw that he was entered into the Hall of Fame as Lynx finally gets one to go.
She was 0 for 3 in 3-point attempts prior to that shot.
I got the wrong president. It was Dr. Chris Whaley of Roane State that entered the Tennessee Community College Athletic Association Hall of Fame, along with Jay Price, the Chattanooga State men's basketball coach.
Yes, Mr. Whaley was a past president of the TCCAA.
They just keep getting their own rebounds. Timeout is, I don't think the shot clock was running. It's still sitting at 20.
Walter State totally dominating in rebounds, both offensively and defensively. Offensively, 6 rebounds. Defensively, 10. 4 for Pellissippi State offensively, and only 2 on the defensive boards. And the turnovers, certainly an issue for the Lady Panthers, as the Lady Senators scoring 10 points off of turnovers.
Pellissippi has not been able to convert on the 5 turnovers for Walter State. They've only scored 4 points there. I'm going to have to refresh. It shows 0 for 0 at the free throw line on my. And we also have an issue where it's showing 31 to 14 on the scorers table. Live stats, but only 29 to 14 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, there is a shot that is being accounted for or not being accounted for, depending on who you're depending on here. And the defense chasing Wilcox around.
Trying to force more turnovers. 3 on the shot clock. Heave. No, I don't think they got it off.
I don't think they did either. But
that possession did not look good for Walter State. Milan Smith will check back in for Malia Wilcox.
Lady Senators did look a little discombobulated there, but you're up by 15.
Maybe they'll try to work out the discrepancy on the scoring as Maya Moore gets into the lane and scores. 16 now for Pellissippi. Tariana Griffin down there in that corner. Stark's going to drive, go with the left hand. No good. Rebound by Gibbs. Her putback is no good. Ellie Lynx comes out of there. Cross court to Carly Hunt. Lynx gets free for 3. Good!
And she's been successful on the last 2 attempts after going 0 for 3 on the previous 3-point tries.
They're going to need Ellie Lynx to get hot. They're going to knock off this team.
And the same for Carly Hunt. She too one of their top scorers.
Probably a good foul right there by Lynx as Gibbs right at the doorstep on the right block. That was 2 points for sure.
Alicia Pollard ready to check in now, and she does for Autumn Crick for the Lady Panthers. Alicia from Port Charlotte, Florida, a 6'2" freshman.
Auburndale High School, she told me. I had to take her word for it.
Yeah, and some of the other players were ribbing her, saying, she's from Florida. She doesn't, it doesn't matter.
That's jealousy talking right there. These Tennessee girls. 2 for 2. Goes Gibbs.
Almost halfway through this second period, and thus the half will be coming to a close. Getting it into Pollard is Ashley Crick.
Maya Moore from the corner, in and out. Rebound to Gibbs. You'll hear that a lot today. Mulholland, that's going to fire. I believe that's her first shot. She cans a 3 from the corner.
Blasts the 3-point shot. Again, she more of a defensive specialist.
Not a rebound, but that ball just rolled right to Gibbs. Smith's going to drive and kick off the glass. Carly Hunt with the rebound. Ellie Lynx with the pink shoes. Up to Ashley Crick. They went to Stewart's Creek High School. They're Redhawks out of Smyrna, Tennessee. Steal by Smith. 2-on-2. Gives it up to Mulholland. That off the glass. It's no good. But Anaya will go to the free throw line. Again, they've been there a lot already in this first half. Mulholland net. Only averages 6 points a game. This is the front end. It's almost a 74% free throw shooter, but she hasn't shot a lot of them. That was her 20th free throw attempt of the year. One for two. You've already seen a display of free throw shooting on the men's bracket. Southwest Tennessee in their first game. 31 for 31. Can't get any better than that unless you go 32 for 32. Lynx has her three-point attempt blocked. Now Ashley Crick for three. It's long, but it falls right into the hands of Pollard, who's trying to bring it back outside. What a reach-in foul by Malia Wilcox, I believe. She'll pick up her second. Fresh 20 on the shot clock with 3:54 to go. As Milan Smith comes to the scorer's table, but doesn't get there quick enough. Hunt picks up her dribble, and the pass is finally run down by Maya Moore. Ashley Crick sees the back cut by Hunt. That's a jump ball as Wilcox, who probably is about to come out of the game, ties up Crick.
And yes, Wilcox exiting and Milan Smith entering the game.
Last year, Walters State was the #1 seed, and they won the championship. So in 2 years, they've only lost one conference game. Gibbs will get it back out. Mulhall, and that's going to fire from her same spot she just hit. No good. Rebound to Pollard up court. Maya Moore's going to try to go to the rim. She'll get there, but that reverse layup to the left side, just a little strong with the right hand. Smith cross court to Terriana Griffin. Have not called her name in a while. Her shot's wild, no good. Put back by Gibbs, no good. Coleman fighting, but she's going to pick up the personal foul. That'll be the third team foul. Tiara Coleman. Another player from Florida, 5'9" from Orlando, sophomore.
Montlow State Bucks team, the ladies, entering the facility here. They will be squaring off against the Lady Green Jays of Jackson State when this one wraps up.
35-19. Pollard being held by Reagan Starks. Starks, her first foul. The lob pass to Lynx. Her shot either blocked or, I think that was Mulhall and Nat. Got a little piece of her, no call made. Rebound is Smith. Does a pirouette in the lane. Her shot no good. Rebound to Walter State. Griffin working on Maya Moore. Has the ball knocked out of, or not out of her hand. Splitting the defense is Smith right down the lane. Shot too long and all the way down court is Ellie Lynx. Nobody sees her. Finally gets it up. She's going to fire from three. In and out. Autumn Crick got tangled up with Reagan Starks. Picks up the personal foul. That is the Lady Panthers' 5th foul of the quarter, and that means 2 free throws for Starks. We will effort to interview Jasmine Coleman at the half for Walters State. Jay Harper will head down to the court prior to halftime. 2 for 2 goes Starks at the line, 37-19, 16-point lead. Pellissippi State working offense, man-to-man defense employed, trying to see if they can get the ball inside to Pollard. Reagan Starks is fronting her. Pollard cannot get around. Now she's got the basketball, working hard, and the 2 points lays over the rim and in. I watched her most of that possession, and she worked hard. And then Milan Smith just comes down and goes right down the river. 1:25 on the game clock. See if they try to get Pollard again. She's on that right block. Autumn Crick over to Moore. She's going to fire a three. Good. Nothing but the net. Down by 15, coming up on the 1 minute mark. Again, Smith gets right into the lane. Terriana Griffin faked the three, drove around Carly Hunt, and a 12-footer is good. Left side, driving off the glass strong, but Pollard's right there for the rebound. Alicia Pollard, 6'2", freshman, true center. She does not stray too far from the lane, camping typically on a block as Milan Smith driving, kicking to Mulhall and net. She's going to fire a three and hit. She heard me say that she doesn't shoot very much. She's got 2 threes here in the first half, 10 seconds to go. Pellissippi State, of course, going after the final shot, trying to nip into this, and the problem is Terriana Griffin, who a little bit of a bump, and that's going to be called with 1.5 seconds. That'll send Maya Moore to the free throw line. That's the 5th team foul of the quarter. Barry Inslee working 2 cameras. Look at that man. Camera 4 and camera 5. Moore's first free throw, no good. One of 2 at the line. Checking in for defense, Malia Wilcox. And that pass seemed to indicate right there that they're not really wanting to get a significant shot off as Smith fires one toward the backboard, but it didn't have much of a chance. Jay Harper will apparently walk down to Quan Dudley for Pellissippi State to see if he wants to talk as they trail 44-27. And Jay Harper is with Coach.
I am with Coach Quan Dudley. And Quan, you knew this would be a challenge, this game. Again, you knew it would be a challenge. You're down by a considerable margin here. What do you tell your team at halftime?
Rebound. That's it. Rebound, be tough, be physical. That's it.
Have you got any players that you just need to get more out of if you've got any chance of trying to close this gap?
Well, it's going to take a team effort. You know, it's not going to take just 1 or 2 girls. It's going to take a full team effort today. We knew that coming in, it was going to be tough. And, you know, we're not going to back down. We're going to keep playing hard, keep doing what we do, cut this lead at the second half, and try to make it a game. All right, Coach. Appreciate your time, bud. Again, that's Quan Dudley, head coach for the Pellissippi State Lady Panthers.
All right, the first half is concluded. Walters State, not a surprise, a large lead here at halftime. The #1 team in the conference, 4th in the country. We'll take a break and be back with third quarter action right here on the VolState Sports Network.
You are locked on to 5. Y'all, we got a great show for you today. We're going to talk with Georgia Bryant, a student in the music program right here at VolState. But before that, let's go on over to the Student Says segment and see what's going on there. Are you ready? Let's go.
Hi, Hi, I'm Rox, and this is the Student Says segment of 5, and today we're asking, what are you doing over spring break?
I'll be working at Kroger's all spring break, but hopefully I'll be able to go somewhere else instead of work.
This week over spring break, I'm going to be dog sitting, a lot of dogs, and hanging out with friends.
Over spring break, I'm going to be going on a mission trip. I think it's like 3 days. One of my friends invited me, so that's going to be fun.
Over my spring break, I'm probably just going to be working a whole lot.
Be spending time with my mom, and I'm very excited about it. I'm studying for an anatomy lab exam and working.
I'm going to Cancun with my family.
Well, for spring break, I'm actually going to England. And I wasn't really in charge of planning everything. It was my family and my parents and my sibling, because it's their like graduation trip.
Gonna hang out with friends and also study for my exams that I'm gonna have.
Hey girl, thanks for joining us today.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Okay, so tell me, you're in the music program here. What all do you do? What are you part of? What's going on?
So I'm a music AFA major, so I take a lot of like private lessons and do a lot of ensembles, and I also have a lot of music theory and ear training classes.
Okay.
That kind of makes up the majority of the major.
Okay, cool. So like, are you a singer? Do you play instruments? Like, what do you do as far as in the music?
I'm mostly a singer. I've been writing songs since I was like 5 or so. So I play like a little bit of piano to accompany myself, but my voice is my main instrument.
Yes. There you go. I was talking with Ben Graves, our professor here earlier, and he was telling me that you're part of the jazz ensemble. Like, tell me about that.
I am. This is my first semester doing it, but I've really been enjoying it. It's cool. It's a lot of like improvisation, which is a good challenge for me.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and we get new pieces all the time, and we have to learn them really quick.
I bet. It's like super fast.
Yeah.
So do you sing in that too?
I do, yeah.
Awesome. So like, how big is the ensemble? Like, how many people are a part of it?
This semester we have a pretty big one. I think it's 13 or 14 students.
Oh, wow.
But sometimes it's only like 8 or so.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Like what instruments are a part of it? Like what makes up the whole group, I guess?
Well, it depends on the semester.
Yeah.
But we've got a couple vocalists. We've got a drummer. We've got a sax player. We've got 2 trumpet players. And then we've got a few guitarists, a clarinet player.
Okay.
And we've got a pianist too.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so like, how do you become a part of the ensemble? Like, how'd you hear about it?
I know about it because of the department I'm in, but I think non-music majors can be in it too.
Okay.
And you don't have to audition for it. You can just sign up.
Oh, perfect. So if any other students wanted to join, they could?
It's called the Commercial Music Ensemble.
Okay. Good to know. Okay, one last question. This is my surprise question for you. This is so random. If you could be a dipping sauce, what dipping sauce would you be?
Ooh, I'm actually not a big sauce person.
Not a big sauce person?
No.
Maybe a seasoning?
Ooh, tahini.
Tahini. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Georgia. That's all we got for you.
Thanks for having me.
Come visit the art gallery and check out the Retro 50 Expo by Alan Messer, where you can check out artists such as Willie Nelson, Alice Cooper, and last but not least, this guy.
Hey nursing students, did you know they sell scrubs in the back corner of the bookstore? They come in 2 colors, black and navy blue, and in sizes from extra small to 3X.
Need a snack? Come by the bookstore and grab a bite to eat.
And one last thing, spring break starts next week, which means there are no classes. Take some time to relax, recharge, and enjoy the break. We'll see everyone back on campus soon. Well, that's all we got for you for 5 segments in 5 minutes. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm Jessica Meyer, and y'all have a great spring break.
I'm his son. Oh, yeah. Yeah, let's make a record.
Y'all ready?
The Possum Hunters they were the first band to play the Grand Ole Opry 100 years ago this year. Not only is it the museum's 50th anniversary, but it's the 100th anniversary of the Opry, and the Possum Hunters were the very first band to play the Opry. Not only that, they opened the Opry every single Saturday night from 1925 to around 1938, 1940. They were absolute superstars.
I'd go back to my great-granddad, who was also with the Possum Hunters when his Uncle Monk played for him. My granddad was Martin Presley, George Martin Presley, and they called him Shorty. And if you ever saw a picture of him, he wasn't much bigger than the banjo that he played. But I remember as a little kid sitting around with him. You know, of course, he passed away when I was still young, but I still remember hanging out with him in the yard, and that's all he loved to do. He still, till his old age, till his dying days, that's all he wanted to do was play the banjo. As a matter of fact, that's his banjo back there behind me. We got to play that on this album. Luckily, I put a few things back on it because it was missing a head, and I had to make it playable again. But that's still the original, roughly 130-year-old banjo back there that he learned to play on.
My uncle, he tells a story that he was asked to join the Possum Hunters, but he turned them down and suggested that my uncle Monk, as he was known, his name is Noel, that he might want to play with them, and he did.
I'm on the board of directors of the Sumner County Museum, and we're having a night at the museum. And this band, this bluegrass band, local bluegrass band, who I'd seen before, called the Lugnuts, were playing there that night as entertainment. When you go in the museum, if you look up on the wall, one of the first things you'll see is this massive picture of the Possum Hunters from, you know, the late 20s. The Lugnuts that night were playing underneath the photo of the Possum Hunters, playing a Possum Hunter set list. And I'm standing across the room at this point listening, tapping my toe, and it's February. I need a project for the spring semester, and the light bulb went off. It's like, I'm going to record that. I knew it was daunting because I wanted to do a whole album. I jumped right in. I went to the museum and gave them my idea. I said, I can record it in the studio. If everybody's on board, we'll make this record. Museum loved the idea. Then I went to Steve Beischer, head of the department here.
So Cole comes with the project, and he says, this would be a great thing to do. And I agreed. I said, this is something that would be great for the school, great for students, and it's a real world thing. I took it to the school and talked to the school about it, and Dr. Tostenson, the president, said it's a cool thing. You know, everybody's agreed that it's a really neat thing because it connects the historical part of it and the student working on projects part of it, and all the stuff that it connects together is, I think, a worthy goal to make it as good as it can be. The students did a good job on the recording. There's probably a lot of students who've never experienced one of those instruments live and in the flesh before. So those instruments were great to have them say, well, here it is. This is what it does. This is what it does. Here's where the sound comes. Here's how it's played. And they can take those techniques sometimes away or put them into a project that they're working on, or say, hey, what if I put a mandolin on my rap track? What's that going to be like? Hey, why not do it? You know, see what happens. I've spent a lot of my career with two phrases, what if and why not. It's like, what if we put a mic up here? Why not? Well, do it. See what it sounds like. If it's good, cool. If it's not, then you don't have to use it. So all of those things apply because as they're learning things, like all these pieces of gear here, until they actually come in and turn the knob, I can talk about what this knob might do all day, but until they actually turn it and go, oh, now I understand. the whole point of the program is to come out with portfolio material, because in the real world, especially on a hands-on or a creative thing like this, like engineering or producing or something, the first thing you'll be asked is, what do you do? And you can say, this is what I do. And since it is a real world project, it's not a theoretical, I did this for a class. It's on the market, it's for sale, my name is on it, you know. Maybe it goes and wins Bluegrass Album of the Year, who knows? Then you have that accolade to your credit. So it's only good things can happen for students.
Man, thanks to that ball and personal price you gave me, I was able to scoop me up some new kicks.
Really? I like those. You look like you're ready for a marathon now.
You know, on second thought, we're always looking for some fresh talent. Have you thought about going back and playing?
Really? Man, have I ever.
Go to the goal. There you go, buddy. Jake.
You for real, Coach?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing about the personal price, Coach. Everybody at Toyota Gallatin gets it. That's what makes us so special.
Well, on second thought, I think we're all booked up.
Come on, Coach. For real? Give me a shot.
We'll pass.
Oh, come on. Wow.
The demand for mechatronics professionals is on the rise. Students get to earn a wage and college credit simultaneously via our work-based learning program. Visit VolState.edu to start blazing your pathway now. Classes are available now at the Gallatin and Cookeville campuses.
Hi there, I'm Jay Harper along with Tim Reese. We are about to kick off the second half of this one between Walters State and Pellissippi State. There was a discrepancy. We were a little confused on the score, but we've got that squared away, right, Tim?
Scoreboard here inside the Pickle Field House is correct. 44-27, 17-point lead for the number 1 team in the conference, number 4 team in the country, the Lady Senators of Walters State. They just look like a bulldozer right now, Jay.
Yeah, they are tough to stop. And, of course, it doesn't help when you're only shooting, 29%? That's Pellissippi State's shooting percentage in that first half compared to Walters State's 50%. So that ain't going to help you. You know, you're going to have to be a little more on target. But by the same token, you've got to give credit to this defense from Walters State. I mean, they limit their opponents to 60 points a game. So it's just kind of par for the course for this powerhouse, number 1 seed, the Lady Senators.
Well, Coach Dudley was talking about rebounds as well, and Walters State almost doubled the rebounds at 28 versus 15. As we are underway, Pellissippi State with the basketball to begin the third quarter. Carly Hunt drives and will kick to Autumn Crick, and she's going to draw a personal foul right off the hop here on the third quarter. Terriana Griffin picks up her second. She's talking to the official, Terry Tubbs, telling her what she had done, and I don't believe it was Terry Tubbs to make the call. That's actually Terriana Griffin's third. I didn't remember her picking up a foul. Two for two at the line. It was Autumn Crick and Griffin will have a seat as Malia Wilcox will check in. They have the luxury with a 15-point lead of sitting possibly the top player in the conference, as a technical foul has been called. Ellie Lynx will go to the free throw line. I'm not sure if that was on Jasmine Coleman, the coach, or a player. And the free throw is good. I think she gets 2. There we go.
Coach Coleman, she doesn't seem all that bent out of shape about the technical. Of course, she's fairly emotionless, at least in expressing it on the sidelines. She's pretty even-keeled for the most part during a game. She may be boiling inside, but externally, you can't tell.
Another foul on Walters State. That's 3 here within the first 30 seconds of the third quarter. And we did not have that camera angle on what happened, but it was the official farthest down the court. Inbound pass fought for by Wilcox. She underhands to Smith. Now up to Mulholland net. So all 3 of the guards have handled it. Now let's get it to a forward. Reagan Starks high off the glass. No good. Ashley Crick.
That's right. Both Crick girls in the game, Ashley and Autumn. Ashley's 10, Autumn's 30.
Nice pass and a nice shot by Ellie Lynx, who hits the deck.
Pulling a little closer, this Pellissippi State team, as that shot off target, the jump ball call.
Walters State will retain possession on the alternate possession. Inbounding underneath their own basket. So they try that there. They got it again. It's the same play, just reversed, as Gibbs tries 2 bunnies and can't get either one of them to go. And again, Pellissippi State with a chance to get into this lead. Carly Hunt with a turnaround shot, and the lead has shrunk below 10. Alon Smith underhand to Starks before she was able to get a shot off. Maya Moore jumped right into her for a personal foul.
Maya with the push. That will be her second foul.
Kick back out to Mulholland Nat. It's a hyphenated last name. Her first name, Anaya. Smith throws him a wild shot off the glass, but Reagan Starks, and that's Ashley Crick on the floor, will fight for possession. Another jump ball. Pellissippi State comes out of there with this one. So a turnover. Both teams' leading scorers has 12 points. Nija Gibbs with a dozen. Ellie Lynx now with 12. Carly Hunt, a fadeaway shot, no good. Rebound by Autumn Crick. Setting a screen now for Hunt. The pass is stolen by Starks, or it would have been. Autumn Crick knocked her to the floor. In the Richard Moore Gymnasium, Hall of Fame, the late athletic director and coach here at Volunteer State. Bobby Hudson, the current athletic director, now in the 20th year as the AD, worked underneath Richard Moore.
Autumn Crick just committing her third foul. And
Wilcox fires.
Still on the floor.
Rebound. And a putback, no good. Ellie Lynx pushing the play. Will give it off to Hunt. She is stopped by Smith. Smith stops Lynx as well. Moore's going to spin and attempt a shot, no good. And Autumn gets her shot knocked out of bounds by Starks.
No foul call as the Lady Panthers retain possession with Carly Hunt to inbound it.
12 on the shot clock. Moore directing traffic, working on Wilcox. She's going to fire from 3. Gets the Scud missile to land on the back of the iron.
Yeah, it just
and
kind
it's like a dud. Drops right in there.
It just thudded there, but plopped right in the hole.
And Milan Smith doesn't waste any time. She again goes right down central. Moore loses the handle. Picked up by Wilcox.
The Lady Panthers looking for a stop here, but we're going to have a timeout as Coach Jasmine Coleman not really liking what she's seeing as she sees her lead shrink to 6 points.
17-point deficit at half, now down to 6. Pellissippi State says we're not done.
And I'm sure Coach Quan Dudley during this timeout probably telling his team, hey, look, just keep playing, keep digging. Look at the scoreboard. We are closing things on this number 1 seed. Don't give up.
8 players for Pellissippi have appeared. Only 7 for Walter State. So both coaches working with their top players. This is not a game that you get somebody some playing time unless you absolutely have to. Of course,
you've got Amelia Richardson and Autumn Krigg, both with 3 fouls for Pellissippi State.
Terriana Griffin for Walter State with 3. On the right side, looking inside for Gibbs, working on, I think that's Autumn Crick.
And another stop for the Lady Panthers.
Autumn meets Gibbs again and loses the basketball. Inside to Gibbs, but before the pass connected, I think Ashley Crick picked up the personal foul. The Crick twins were both in the game. Ashley replaced by Richardson. Starks hands off to Smith. Richardson collapsing down on Gibbs. Gibbs had Richardson in front. Now Gibbs will come up to set a pick. He said, nope, I won't. 7 on the shot clock. Smith will create on her own, get into the lane. She's going to go to the free throw line. Alon Smith playing in her 24th game of the year. Into the free throw line 82 times coming into this contest. Averages 64+% there. Terriana Griffin, she's been at the free throw line the most. And the first attempt is no good. Walter State has 2 players that have attempted over 100 free throws this year. Griffin and Gibbs. 1 for 2. That's the first point of the game, or first point of the third quarter.
And we have a full timeout, Tim, as Coach Coleman wants to settle things down.
We'll take a break, and we'll be back with more third quarter action here on the VolState Sports Network.
VolState is amazing. Here you'll get a top-notch education with great professors who inspire. And with Tennessee Promise or Reconnect, it could be nearly free. VolState offers small class sizes, 4 convenient campuses, and we are big on experiences. Whether you thrive in the lab, the studio, the field, the classroom, or just enjoy hanging around campus, join the family. Go to VolState.edu to get started.
Pellissippi State has come out on fire here in the third quarter, down by 17 at the half. They have cut into that lead by 10, and they have the basketball. Carly Hunt across the timeline. Ellie Lynx in the game.
At halftime, I'd ask Coach Quan Dudley, so what do you tell your team at halftime? Rebounds, rebounds, rebounds. But, hey, you know, you got to get some points on the board, and he has certainly done that with Richardson just scoring. So only down by 5 now.
I think Richardson scored the first 4 points of the game for Pellissippi, and those 3 fouls have had her in pause, but she gets a bucket there. Now 6, spin move by Smith, and the shot is strong. Maya Moore fighting for the rebound, pushing off, and they're going to call an offensive foul on Moore.
Oh, gosh. You know, that was just reflex on her part to just kind of push her way out of there, but she gets called for the infraction.
That's the old fight or flight there, right? If you're getting mauled, are you just going to lay down, or are you going to try to push back? And I think you're exactly right. Maya thinking, hey, I got to get these people off of me. And
yeah, with a big smile on her face. I mean, she knew it, but the Motlow State Bucks basketball team, the ladies sitting up in the stands as they are checking out who they might play.
Hunt and Wilcox tie up the basketball. Walter State retains possession.
With that foul by Moore, she now with 3 fouls.
Reagan Starks on that left block. She just turned to her right into the lane and pushed that one over the rim. 47-40. Walter State, if they thought they were going to have an easy time with Pellissippi State, they're learning right now it's not going to be quite as easy. Richardson out to Hunt for 3. It is short. Rebound to Autumn Crick with the left hand, puts it back in.
Right
and
place.
The lead down to 5.
Right place, right time for Autumn Crick.
You need that.
5'11", and the height coming in handy there with the left-handed lay-in.
Starks off the glass. She gets it to go.
Big long pass to Moore now. And she finishes. The Lady Panthers answering. Still down by 5.
Right wing Mulholland Nat. They're getting instructions from Jasmine Coleman. Head coach, I believe she's in her 4th year, or maybe she's been longer than that. Nice shot there as Gibbs draws contact. Again, up court to Moore, who beats the defense. He gets another layup, matching 2-point field goals here.
Tit for tat going on between these two teams.
Starks deep in the paint there. First shot no good, turnaround shot. It's almost like a no-look shot there.
And the patience.
Circles in.
Patience paying off.
Lynx gives it up to Carly Hunt. Got a head of steam. Maya Moore, a 15-footer is long. Now it will go out of bounds. Moore, after a couple of layups, able to get that in as Alicia Pollard being asked to check into the game.
And she replaces Autumn Crick. Autumn with 3 fouls, so Pollard steps in now with 3:07 to play.
Walter State 24-2. Their only 2 losses were back-to-back, and that was in mid-December against Shelton State and Chipola College. 2 teams out of conference, and Richardson's picked up her 4th. She was right on that right hip of Nigel Gibbs, and she does not agree.
So Autumn Crick right back in the game for Richardson. Yeah, Autumn was about to take a swig out of her water bottle and then like, oh, okay, I got to go back in. A 7-point lead now for Walter State as Gibbs steps to the line.
No good on the first. One for two at the line. A pass to an empty spot, tracked down by Moore. Inside to Pollard. She has it stolen away.
Absolutely pocket picked.
I'm telling you, Milan Smith has one gear, and it's go. Coleman in the game. Tiara Coleman, her shot knocked out of bounds. It'll be Walter State basketball with 18 on the shot clock. Shelton State and Chipola College, both in the top 10 in the country. So Walter State, 2 losses. They were to top-ranked teams. Smith. That almost was a jump ball. They're going to call it a jump ball.
They're going to call it with Ellie Lynx.
She got up in the air.
Jumping in there.
But Lynx got her hand on the basketball. Hunt's pretty quick too. She's got that nice crossover, but has either the pass altered or pass it to the wrong person. Up court to Gibbs. Her pump fake gets Pollard to commit, and Pollard's going to draw the personal foul. That is her first. Naja Gibbs back to the free throw line.
So Quan Dudley giving it a bit of a, well, just kind of a problem here with his taller players getting into foul trouble. Even though that's Pollard's first, but still. And she will check out as Ashley Crick returning to the floor with her sister Autumn, along with Carly Hunt, Maya Moore, and Ellie Lynx. Moore looking for some help. Hunt breaks forward the basket.
Nice shot at the free throw line. Pellissippi's not going away. 1:42 to go in the third quarter.
Still a full quarter to go, but you're right, Tim. We are seeing some real grit, some real tenacity, and fighting back to kind of stay close in this one.
Coleman sees Gibbs buried down there on the block. She was rooting that Ashley Autumn Crick down on that block, and she was deep in the lane. And again, she's going to go back to the free throw line. Has not been kind to Naja. Well, actually, earlier it was. But of late, she's missed a couple of free throws.
Autumn Crick with 4 fouls now.
Her and Ashley need to go into the locker room, switch jerseys. You can't tell them apart.
Well, he talked about that yesterday. It's like, here.
They'll never know.
Put this on.
I think Naja now 7 for 10 at the free throw line.
Autumn still in the game.
Yes, she is. Playing that as the pass goes through the hands of Maya Moore.
Unfortunate.
That's what can't happen if you're trying to knock off team as talented as Walter State.
Those kinds of turnovers certainly sting more in this type of scenario. 19 turnovers now for Pellissippi State.
Inside double team, out to Mulhall and Nat. Her 3 is short. Almost like a pass off the rim right to Tiara Coleman. And a 10-point lead. 30 seconds on the game clock, 17 on the shot clock. Ellie Links trying to post up Mulhall and net. A three is hoisted, no good. Autumn Crick went after the rebound like she didn't have 4 fouls. And look who's running the length of the court to get a shot off right in the lane.
Of course, it's Milan Smith with 14.7 seconds on the clock in the third.
And another player with 5. Maya Moore with 4 fouls. Amelia Richardson with 4. Autumn Crick with 4 fouls.
So the fouls are forcing Coach Dudley to sit Maya Moore along with Autumn Crick as Richardson back in the game, but she's in some foul trouble herself.
Reagan Starks at the scorer's table will check in. Got to blow that horn for her to come in, though. Tiara Coleman will check out.
Terriana Griffin, we haven't seen her on the floor in a bit, but she's over on the bench area on the stationary bike, keeping those legs warm. Presley Clark in the game, number 1, as she fed it over to Carly Hunt, who misses that shot.
Shot at the buzzer.
That was pretty darn close. Pretty close.
Walters weathers the storm.
Yes, extends that lead that was down to 5, but they have pushed back up by 11 now as we move to the 4th quarter.
We'll take a break and be right back with the final stanza here.
Cybercrimes take place online, and companies need more well-trained workers to stop it.
VolState is training me to help combat cybercrimes in the future.
We're training them for those type of jobs that are out there. VolState CIT programs prepare students to earn industry standard certifications within the IT industry.
I choose VolState because the future needs me now. My story could be your story.
59-48, Walters State leads here as we begin the 4th quarter. 4 timeouts for the Lady Senators, 3 for Pellissippi State. If it stays close, we'll have some more stoppages for sure. Of course, the losing team season will end. Pellissippi State showing some grit as they outscored Walters State 21-15 in that quarter. And it took a while for Walters State to get their first point. It was almost 4 minutes, I believe, deep into the game.
It's almost like Walters State was kind of in a little bit of shock there for a bit. And like, you know, hey, we need to get our act back together here. This may get out of hand.
Maybe just getting familiar with that side of the court. A push on Gibbs, no call. She's going to go back to the free throw line. Presley Clark with her hands on her head. As she was fighting a taller player, Gibbs, who's very experienced, very close to the basket. Presley Clark, more of a three-point specialist outside the arc. And again, Gibbs here late in the game, struggling. She went 7 for her first 10, but she went 6 for her first 6.
Now with 18 points.
Leads all scorers. Maya Moore, 14 for Pellissippi. Carly Hunt nearly runs as Ellie Links run right into her. Amelia Richardson, Presley Clark, and Autumn Crick. That's Ashley Crick. I am corrected. Have to wait to see the number. I can't tell the difference Maybe I need to figure out what kind of shoe situation
yeah,
both of them.
They do have different shoes.
Clark back to Hunt. She stops the pop. No good. Guess where Milan Smith's going? She's going right to that basket and a bounce pass to Nyjah.
You know, and she's one of the assist leaders too, but boy, in this game, she's just been blowing down the court all by herself.
Well, she got an assist that time. Amelia Richardson steps through, gets it off the glass, but she can't be too aggressive on going for the offensive rebound. She's got 4 fouls. Playing a zone defense, Pellissippi State. Terriana Griffin still not in the game, but only with 3 fouls. You'd think she would come in. Gibbs' is shot no good. She taps it out, but she's going to be called for the personal foul. Gibbs picks up her first personal. Lynx will check out. Maya Moore now in the game. She's got 4 fouls, but it's all or nothing now. Richardson again fakes a 3, drives in off the glass. It's short.
Just didn't get enough on it. Amelia with 4 fouls, so maybe she's a little more tentative than she would be normally.
She's been sitting a lot of the game because of those fouls, so just may not have her sea legs, as maybe a term. Wilcox for 3, in and out, rebound to Nyjah Gibbs. She's not the leading offensive rebounder in the league. That's Jada Rainey for VolState, but I bet you she's up there in offensive rebounds. Timeout called by Quan Dudley. It's a full timeout. But we'll keep it here, tell you about the brackets. If you weren't with us in the first half. Of course, this game, a 1 versus 8 matchup. The second game of the day will feature the middle portion of the bracket. The 4-5 Motlow State against Jackson State. Then game 3 of the day, Dyersburg will take on Cleveland State. A 2 versus 7 matchup. In the 3-6 matchup, Columbia State versus Chattanooga. In the women's bracket, Jay, all chalk, as each of the higher seeds has won the games. And right now, with 8 minutes to go, looks like Walter State with a 16-point lead has things in hand.
Yeah, we had very close games, of course, in the initial games of the bracket, which makes sense. I mean, those teams are so even in terms of their seeding, but as you start moving through a tournament, you start getting the cream rising to the top, so to speak, in many ways. Motlow State, the women, they have been in the building for quite some time, awaiting their game coming up next against Jackson State. Have not seen the Lady Green Jays, however. So they perhaps waiting a bit to enter the building.
Maya Moore left wing now, dribbles all the way to the right side. Amelia Richardson will circle and try to get it to Alicia Pollard, as Juan Dudley has both of his centers in the game at the same time. Also in Presley Clark with Carly Hunt and Maya Moore, who has the basketball. Still no Terriana Griffin for Walter State. Wilcox tried to get the steal.
Stepped on the line in her hustle.
She's 7th in the conference with 2.4 steals per game. Number 1 is Milan Smith, number 3. A twirl and
travel.
Too much twirling going on.
Yeah, she lost her balance and had to take an extra step.
She thought she had a dance partner to hold her up, but she didn't.
Yeah, the pirouette failed her there.
Let's see if Coach Coleman has his troops use a little more of the shot clock. Hand that ball to Smith. She doesn't think about a shot clock, as Mulholland that shot is short. Maya Moore tried to behind the back dribble to get by the defender, but has it go loose inside to Starks. She'll step back and do a 12-footer, no good. Moore comes out with the rebound. Carly Hunt's open for 3, but she fakes, gives it to Richardson. Presley Clark in the corner. She eyes that rim, no good. Richardson almost over the back. 6:38. And we'll have another timeout as Terriana Griffin was at the scorer's table. She will come in for Walters State as Senators still have that 16-point lead. Again, between the second and third games today, we will have the women's awards. Yesterday, the men's awards were announced. The overall player of the year in the men's bracket was Damari Litch, as our friend Chuck Sebastian, the voice of the Walters State Senators, undoubtedly listening in. Want to say hello to Chuck over in Morristown.
Yeah.
Damari Litch, the player of the year.
Yeah, we had a chance to talk with Damari after the award ceremony yesterday. So we'll be down on the floor again for the women's ceremony in hopes of perhaps chatting with an award winner for the ladies.
Griffin hands off to Starks. Gets it in the hands of Smith. Now, Terriana Griffin, first shot, I believe in the second half, and it goes. She hasn't missed a beat.
Yeah, she doesn't know the term going cold. She just pops right back on the floor, makes a nice jump shot.
Pollard knocked to the ground. Tiara Coleman will pick up the personal. That's her second. Terriana Griffin, a Knoxville product from South Doyle High School.
And Richardson's shot, no good.
Smith on the move. Griffin thought about a three in the corner, but she's going to drive. The ball is going to get knocked as Terry Tubbs is going to call the foul.
Both
saw from her vantage point across the court.
Both of the Craig girls having a seat as Amelia Richardson and Alicia Pollard in the game for Coach Dudley. Richardson, though, with her 6 points, has 4 fouls. So she has to be careful. Pollard, though, with just 1, I believe.
Griffin in the top 10 in free throw percentage, field goal percentage, 3-point shooting, and she's third in steals with 2.7 of those. Last year, she might have been the #1 thief in the conference. Hunt fake left, dribbles right. Richardson's going to replace her, get it to Pollard in that right block. She tries to go the up and under move. The 6'2 freshman comes out of there with the basketball. Open is Moore, drives, her shot off the back of the iron, no good. Empty possession for Pellissippi as Terriana Griffin gets a nice pass from Smith and drops it in.
Smith, she just has fantastic court awareness. I mean, she knows where everyone is at any given time.
That 5-point lead has extended now to 22. Richardson can't get it to go, and looks like Pellissippi State expended so much effort in that third quarter.
And Walters State just really started to step on the gas again.
Starts the up and under move. No good. Pollard gets it up court to Moore, who will back it out. Wait for the rest of her teammates. Pellissippi 8-12 in the conference. Fouls called.
Fouls number 2.
So
finally somebody with 4 fouls for Walters State.
Yeah, Malia Wilcox with her 4th foul as she is got 7 points on the day. So she'll have a seat while Mulholland Nat re-enters the game for Coach Coleman.
Pellissippi State last year was an 8 seed. Got the win over the 9th seeded VolState Lady Pioneers, but then met right here in this exact same game a year ago against Walter State and dropped that game to the then number 22 ranked Lady Senators, 67-51. Of course, Walter State went on to win the tournament and go to the national championship in Casper, Wyoming.
I hope they flew there. That's a hell of a bus ride.
Paradise Fisher drives the lane as she gets her first action. Pulls down an offensive rebound. Griffin has a double clutch. His shot was blocked initially, but she retained possession. Finally, Amelia Richardson will get it up court to Maya Moore and has that one knocked out by Mulholland Net, but it goes out of bounds. It'll be Pellissippi State basketball. 3:48 to go in the ball game. 21-point lead. Carly Hunt faked everybody out. Thought she was going to pass it to Moore. She went right by two Lady Senators, but Autumn Crick working hard. We're going to call, or Wes Sperling will call, a jump ball. Pellissippi State retains possession. I thought for sure Carly was going to hand that ball off, but she drove right on by, but missed the layup.
Yeah, she had a good look, but just not able to finish.
Paradise Fisher from Newark, New Jersey. 5'6" freshman. She's a long way from home. And I don't think she probably talks like everybody down here. Hunt gets it again. She's going to try it off the glass. And the same result, no good. Walter State comes out with the basketball. Griffin, right side, she'll pull it back out. Paradise Fisher handling the basketball and doing a nice job of it. Gets it off the glass and in.
Making her presence known as she enters the game with an athletic move.
Averages 5.4 points a game. Hunt passes the ball out of bounds
and gets away from Autumn Crick.
She thought Autumn was going to stay up in that left side. Carly, I think, might have some blood on her finger as she heads over to the trainer's table. Brad Swope.
And she grabs some paper towel to just take
She's
care of business.
She's going to handle it herself.
Yeah.
Brad, just go ahead and have a seat.
Yeah, go ahead.
She's got it. Underneath. Got another new player in, Mariana Zuniga.
She is from Columbia.
That's not Columbia, Tennessee. That
Correct.
is the country. Cali, Columbia. She probably doesn't talk like the folks down here either. Autumn Crick for three. It's long. Clark and Griffin go after it. Griffin knocks it out.
And
they have a conversation.
Going to see some new faces now for Pellissippi State. As a couple of new players in the game now. That would be Keely Davis, number 12, along with Samia Payne, number 14, both from Lebanon, Tennessee, both 5'9" freshmen.
Payne had a shot, but no good from Lebanon, Tennessee. They both went to Lebanon High School. Lebanon Blue Devils, just outside of Nashville, east of town. As looked like Zuniga was tripped. She ends up on the deck, no call made. Fisher fires from three, and it's good. Walter State averages 83 points, and they are 6 away and have this one in hand. 28-point lead as Presley Clark will fire from three. That is off to the right. Big Brandon Woodard, I believe, is his last name, standing over there. .131 on the game clock. Make sure we've got everybody named. Tiara Diallo from Dublin, Georgia, number 1, standing down in the far corner. 5'10" freshman. She's gotten into the game for Walter State. Paradise Fisher with another nice spin move. Gets it to go up court, and 2 points for Samia Payne. She gets in the scoring column. Walters gives up 49 points a game. Pellissippi now with 51. It's like Paradise Fisher pulling the air out of the basketball. 12 on the shot clock. Coleman to set a screen. Paradise will give it inside to Diallo. Zuniga, who gets her first bucket. Driving all the way down to the baseline is Allie Jones, who's in the game, and shot clock is off. Allie Jones from Cookville Upperman High School has checked in. And dribbling out the remainder, and a 30-point lead or deficit as Walter State will move on to take on the winner of our next game, Motlow and Jackson. So Walter State moves to 25-2 on the season, and they will continue through the women's bracket. They will play tomorrow at 4 p.m. as the men's action on semifinal Monday is early. Men at 12-2, and the women at 4 and 6. Jay Harper is now with Coach Coleman on the sideline. Go ahead, Jay.
Coach, Pellissippi State, you got to hand it to them. They clawed back and made it a little interesting there for a while, but your team came back and did what they had to do.
Yeah, hey, listen, I'm just grateful for the win. You know, we could talk about it and rehash it. Yeah, you know, Quan has a tough team. He gets them to play really, really hard. Ellie's a great player. Hunt, she's a great player. They did a really good job, but we were able to stay disciplined, and on to the next. We get another one.
Well, you know, you have such a talented team. You've not lost in the conference this year. How do you keep your team motivated?
It's discipline every day. I mean, I'm old school in that fact. Yeah, you got to be a little bit with the new school, but I'm old school with the fact of, you know, if you discipline yourselves and not like disciplining them, but holding them accountable. I tell them all the time, I'm like, I don't have the bias that your parent has. You know, I don't have that. I have to make you uncomfortable all the time for you to get something for yourself, and that's what we do. And so far, I've been getting them to buy into it, and I just pray that we can continue to do that.
All right, Coach. Great game. Thank you for your time. All right, congratulations. Again, that is Coach Coleman for the Walter State Lady Senators as we send it back upstairs.
30-point win for the Lady Senators as they allow only 3 points in the fourth quarter to get the victory, and they'll move on to take on the winner of Motlow State Jackson coming up right here on the VolState Sports Network. Please come back and join us